What do you do when the wolves come howling at your door, and all you have is a whisper of your past to fight them off? In the quiet of Green Hollow, Mississippi, Clara Jackson's farm stood like a sentinel against time. At 72, her hands were calloused from decades of tending crops, her face etched with lines of loss and love. The townsfolk knew her as the kind widow who gave out sweet potatoes to kids at church. They didn't know about the ghost she carried or the skills she'd buried deep. Clara was no ordinary farmer. 30 years ago, she'd been a military sniper, one of the first black women to serve in that role, her aim as steady as her resolve. But she'd left that life behind, or so she thought, until the night the wolves came. It was a humid August evening, the kind where the air clung like a second skin. Clara was sipping tea on her porch when headlights sliced through the dusk. 4 men spilled out of a battered truck, their voices loud, their steps reckless. The Iron Vipers, a local gang, had been terrorizing Green Hollow for months, extorting farmers, stealing livestock. Now, they'd set their sights on Clara's land, thinking her an easy mark, an elderly black woman living alone. They didn't know who they were dealing with. The leader, a wiry man named Trey, kicked her gate open, his crowbar glinting under the moon. "Old lady, time to pay up," he shouted, his crew laughing behind him. Clara didn't flinch. She set her tea down, her movements slow, deliberate. "You boys lost?" she asked, her voice calm but edged with steel. Trey sneered, stepping closer. "We take what we want. You gonna make this hard?" Inside, Clara's heart pounded, not with fear, but with a fire she hadn't felt in decades. She'd faced worse than these men-war zones, prejudice, the weight of a rifle in her hands. She'd sworn never to kill again, but she wouldn't let her home, her sanctuary, be torn apart. "Last chance," she said softly. "Leave." They laughed. That was their mistake. Clara slipped into the house, her movements silent, trained. From her attic, she retrieved her old M24 sniper rifle, still pristine, a relic of a life she'd tried to forget. She climbed to the hayloft, her vantage point perfect. The men were spreading out, smashing her garden, looting her barn. Her scope found Trey's shoulder, not his heart. She wasn't that woman anymore. The shot cracked through the night, and Trey dropped, screaming. The others froze, panic seizing them. That's when the twist came. A 5th figure emerged from the shadows, not a viper, but a young woman, no older than 20, her face a mix of fear and defiance. "Miss Clara," she called, voice trembling. It was Lena, the granddaughter of Clara's old army buddy, who'd been staying at the farm to escape an abusive home. Lena had been hiding, watching, and now she held a shovel, ready to fight. Clara's heart swelled. She hadn't known Lena was there, but the girl's courage shifted something in her. This wasn't just about protecting her land, Anna Maria, it was about protecting family. "Lena, stay low," Clara whispered through the window. She fired again, a warning shot that sent dirt exploding near the gang's feet. The Vipers scrambled, shouting, their bravado crumbling. Clara's voice boomed from the loft. "You're on my land." "I don't miss." 2 fled to the truck, dragging Trey with them. The third, bolder or dumber, raised a pistol. Clara's next shot grazed his hand, and he dropped it, howling. They ran, tires screeching into the night. Clara descended, rifle still in hand, and found Lena trembling but unharmed. "You didn't tell me you were a badass, Miss Clara," Lena said, a shaky smile breaking through. Clara chuckled, but her eyes were wet. She'd protected her home, her peace, but the weight of her past pressed heavy. She'd fought not just for herself, but for Lena, for the future. The next day, word spread through Green Hollow. The Vipers never returned. Clara became a quiet legend, though she waved off the whispers. She and Lena planted new seeds in the torn-up garden, a small act of defiance against chaos. Clara taught Lena how to shoot, not to kill, but to stand tall. "Strength ain't just in the trigger," Clara said. "It's in knowing when to pull it, and when to let go." Clara Jackson, the farmer, the sniper, the survivor, had faced the wolves and won. Not with bullets, but with the heart she'd never lost. The farm stood quiet again, but its soil held stories of courage, of second chances, of a woman who'd never let the world break her. Yindi.